Join me today as we unpack the art and science of effective communication and how a simple hook can transform your outreach. Tune in as we explore the power of the hook and how that can make a difference in your conversations and your marketing strategies. And this comes from a conversation that I had with the members of my Influence Army community. Tons of fun. I was super impassioned. Listen in and enjoy. You know when someone is selling from stage and at the end, the audience gets up and rushes to the back of the room to buy? That's a table rush. My name is Misha Z, and the Table Rush Talk Show is all about bringing you the tools, strategies, and tactics that you can use to grow your audience and inspire them to buy. So I just had this really big awareness just this morning. I've been thinking of, as we've been on classes a lot and teaching this stuff, and then sometimes it can all feel very serious and all of this is so mission critical. Like if I don't get it right, like that's it. The world's going to end, or I'm going to fail, or it's all going to fall apart, or it won't work in the long run, or just all these things. And it can feel so weighty. And I was sitting there and I just really realized, really in its most simple form, what we're doing so far is we're looking for the hook to hook somebody and draw somebody in and start a conversation. It's as simple as that, right? And so we're testing different little sayings or quotes, if you want to say, to hook somebody and to draw them in and find out, is this a conversation that this person is going to be interested? Is this a conversation that this person is going to be interested in? And then are they ready to hear more, right? And there's Russel Brunson who calls it hook, story, offer. So you hook somebody in and then you tell them a tiny story and then you make them an offer. And what's the offer? The offer is our solution. Russell Brunson likes to call it a vehicle. It's his vehicle, it's how do we help them? So for me, it's the influence tour. Currently, it's the influence tour and the Influence Army membership, right? That's my vehicle. But this is what I want to point out. In the Call Out Your Audience headline worksheet, I don't speak to my vehicle at all. I'm hook, and I'm starting the story. So then I can make them an offer. Right? So let me share my screen here. There's my share screen. Cool. So on the Call Out Your Audience headline, everybody should be able to see this. I help heart-centered entrepreneurs. I'm not speaking to vehicle at all. I'm not speaking to my solution. I'm not speaking to how I help them, anything. I'm just hooking them, and I'm trying to little hook, right? It could be I help. Listen, and I don't mean to offend anybody here, but you could literally be like, I help moms with fat kids, right? Let's say you have a diabetes solution, or you want to help overweight kids get slim. So you could be like, I help mom with fat kids. And maybe that's the type of person that you want to bring in that responds to that. Or you could be like, you know what, I help moms who want to help their kids, or I help moms with overweight kids. For example, that's one extreme. Those are kind of two extremes, right? Catherine, who's not on here, but Catherine, if you're listening to this, she could say, I help long-term sober guys. Keep it as simple as that, right? I like what you've got going on, Whitney. Yours is super simple at this point. You're like, I help grieving moms and dads, or whatever it is. I help moms and dads who have lost a child. That's pretty straightforward, right? And so the next thing is who are ready to bring their message to market in a big way. I still have not talked about the fact that I'm going to take them on an influence tour, that they can join my membership, all this stuff, so that they can increase their authority, impact, and income. I'm still not talking about what I do at all. I'm not talking about the fact that I've got a killer magazine, or that I've got an amazing podcast, or that I've got these systems in place to help you take accountability of your day with love-based accountability systems, all without having to throw good money after bad on Facebook ads. I'm cooking him. I'm calling him out. Now I'm telling him a little bit of his story, even if you've never spoken on a podcast. I help moms with fat kids who are ready to take ownership and help their kids lose weight so that they can be more active, so that those kids can be more confident, so that those kids can, I still haven't told them that I'm going to friggin' give them a restricted diet and make them do 20 push-ups. Who knows? All without having to hear them cry, complain, and beg for the food that I know they really want to eat. Even if you have a limited budget, even if you don't know how to cook, even if, right? I still haven't spoken. That person calling out the parent that has kids who are overweight has not talked about how they're going to do it at all. They're trying to engage the conversation. And and so we're just trying hooks. We're just trying hooks. So you could literally go to any Facebook group. You could start joining a few Facebook groups that you think has, so Stacy, I think for you, it could be like, I help semi-retired professionals who are ready to re-engage or bring a strong message to market, or who or whatever. But you could literally go to a Facebook group that you think has that semi-retired professional, and you could go, attention, semi-retired professionals, I have a question for you. What's the number one thing that blank? And just keep it something so easy for them to answer, and see if anybody answers.
This tempts me to go back to my other hook. I help women who want their own wealth.
Dude, I love it. Try it. I help women who want their own wealth, but you don't need an exact answer. But my point is, we got to try different hooks.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So start trying them, right? Like, I'm lucky that I engage with so many people who are interested in what I do. So whoever you see today and talks to you, says, what's going on, Whitney? You say, or what do you do, or whatever. Someone said, what's up, Mish? And I'm like, oh, it's interesting. I'm working on this. What are you working on? Well, it's pretty interesting. I'm helping heart-centered entrepreneurs who are ready to bring their message to market in a big way. And then if their eyes roll back, I go, well, that's not my guy. Or even if they're not my guy, they still might be like, oh, that's interesting. I literally I have this conversation so often. That's why I know my hook is good, because people want to know more, right? I help heart-centered entrepreneurs. That grabs somebody's attention. And then I'm like, yeah, who are ready to bring their message to market in a big way. And they're like, well, tell me more. Well, yeah, so they can increase. Why do they want to do this? So they can increase their impact, authority, and income. Right. And this guy I was talking to this morning is like, well, I want to increase my impact, authority, and my income, but I'm scared I'm not a heart-centered entrepreneur. It's like, well, what the hell is a heart-centered entrepreneur? So I start explaining it to him. He's like, well, it's all yoga teachers. And I said, that's a great question. That's what you'd think. A lot of them are yoga teachers, healers, consultants. But I said, as a matter of fact, we have a lady on there, Shauna, who has a drink packet, Elevate. Right? And he's like, oh, maybe I could fit in there. Maybe not. I'm not trying to sell him at all. I could care less. Well, I could care. And so he finally says to me, right? He's hearing me go through all this. And finally he's like, well, what the hell are you? Or, excuse me, I'm swearing. I'm impassioned right now. What the heck are you doing? I said, well, I take him on an influence tour. That's my vehicle, right? And he goes, well, what do you mean? Are you helping him get on Facebook and social media and all that stuff? I said, oh, no. This is then I drive it home with my big hook, the big hook. I say, I literally said, how would your life change I said, I take him on a podcast, on an influence tour. And I said, we're going to get it, get him on a bunch of podcasts. I can't remember exactly how I said it, but I was like, Chris, how would your life change if I took you on? This is really what I'm doing. How would your life change if you were to speak on 50 podcasts in 100 days? And not just any podcasts, but the perfect podcasts that have your perfect audience. And by this point, the dude's frothing, right? And I was like, I got to go. I got other stuff to do. He's like, well, wait, what? Right? So we're just testing hooks. It's just super simple. We're testing hooks. It's not, our life doesn't depend on it. You could literally go into Facebook groups and be like, hey, attention grieving moms. I want to know, what's the hardest thing you did? Give them something really easy to answer to see if they respond to you calling them out. Does that make sense? So you can be like, oh, I think this is my audience. I'll speak for Catherine for a second, even though she's not here. She's like, it's long-term sober guys, right? That's really like, there's guys that have been sober for a long time and they hit 15, 20 years and we just get arrogant and stubborn. And, we're like, it can be really hard to break through. And so she could go to like recovery groups and go, attention, long-term sober dudes. She could say it just like that. Attention, long-term sober dudes. What's your most frustrating thing that people say in meetings? And then see if anybody answers. Are long-term sober dudes raising their hand and going, yeah, I'm a long-term sober dude? Does that make sense? Give me a chat. Put something in the chat that says, yes, that makes sense. Oh, Shara, sorry. Shara, good afternoon. I'm going to stop share. I've been ranting and raving. There's something missing. That's funny. Love that. Your message, your message. So it's not, our life doesn't depend on this, right? Like, take a step back, breathe easy, and start testing on people whenever you can. And then if someone challenges you, when you push back, you'll know you have conviction. So yeah, note that on all the stuff we're working on so far up to now, we are not talking directly to what we do. We're trying to capture their attention. So then we can tell them what we do. Does that make sense? Awesome. I see Stacy shaking her head yes. Whitney, does that resonate? Yes or no? Cool. That's a thumbs up from Whitney. More, Aristotle? Go.
No, I'm good. Thank you very much.
Keep going. Yeah. Yep. Anything else? I think we're good. I'm going to let everybody go. Have a great day. Next week. Yep. I'll just say, next week we're going to do catch-up week. And I'll have all the classes. And I have another little thing I'm going to add that's going to give us a little bit of nuance to help us. But there'll be good stuff next week, but we'll be catch-up week. So then we can go on tour with full confidence. Okay, cheerio. Thank you for listening to this episode of the Table Rush Talk Show. For resources to help you sell your stuff, go to belove.media/resources. That's belove.media/resources. And be sure to subscribe, comment, 5-star, and share. Thank you again for listening.